Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Extreme Tarot, where we do moon readings, pick-a-cards, and zodiac readings. Today we're doing a pick-a-card reading, a look into how you are viewed by your romantic partners, potential romantic partners, or I guess past romantic partners, just how you're seen in a relationship, or even if you've, been single for a while, how you're seen when you're trying to like date people. So I have 3 piles for you to choose from. Pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Pile 1 has the black tourmaline, pile 2 has the selenite tower, and pile 3 has like the honey calcite. I'll hold them all up for you guys. So this is pile 1, the black tourmaline. If it looks familiar, it's because it's a piece of this. Pile 2, we have the selenite tower. And pile 3, we have the honey calcite. All right, guys, so go ahead and pause the video if you need to. If you want to pick your pile, you need a minute to do that. Otherwise, I will see you there, okay? Hey, guys, so if you chose pile 1 and the black tourmaline, this is going to be your reading to see how your romantic interests, we'll just call it that to save time, and I don't have to keep listing every option. But again, I'll just say it one more time, like your past partners, your current partner, people that you try to date or like hook up with, or that you like and think you have a thing, and whatever, any situation any situationship or relationship that you want this to be about. But just basically, how do people see you when they're like in a relationship with you or as a romantic partner? So I have some pre-shuffled cards. So this card just represents basically like who you are in a relationship. This card represents how your romantic partners see you. So we have the Shaman of Skulls and the Bully card. And then we have how they feel about basically like what they're seeing, like how are they interpreting it, your energy, or like, yeah, like this is how they see you and like how they like feel about it, I guess, afterwards. And then we have these tarot cards just to see how this dynamic like plays out in your connections. So we have the Ace of Wands. Let me just take a look. I'm just gonna move this up. Okay, so we get it like fully in the shot. So the Ace of Wands, we have the Five of Cups and the Five of Swords. Okay, and then we got this advice card for you, which is Mookaite Jasper. We'll put this right here. Okay, and let's dive into this. So basically, who are you in a connection? I feel like you are someone that is a product of your past, and I don't think that it was a happy past necessarily. I feel like you're somebody that could have been through a lot of changes, a lot of endings. You could have even, like, not in regard to romantic relationships, even in your childhood with your friendships, like you could have had a lot of loss in your life, like overall. I feel like this has left you with almost like, because it says fearless on the card, so it's almost like you're not scared of change and you're not really scared of anything. And I feel like looking at this Ace of Wands, because this is all like, this is how it plays out. I feel like you're somebody that's like kind of willing to like jump into anything, like not anything like any person, but if you like somebody, for example, like you are not scared maybe about making the first move. You're not scared of like going after what you want, kind of a thing, because it's almost like you've been through so much, you have like nothing to fear. But at the same time, like this is how your romantic partners are seeing you. And I think they're, oh, sorry, I just dropped something. I think they're very like intimidated by you. We have this bully energy here. Highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. And then underneath it says conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. So I feel like what I'm getting from this is that you have a lot of fears, even though you're like fearless in your own mind, maybe, or like you try to just like jump into things like head on. Um, if you do feel fear, you just ignore it and kind of like charge ahead anyway. So I feel like what happens here is like how people see you. I feel like they're very intimidated by you. Um, Highlights your tendency to intimidate others. Yeah, I feel like you could be somebody that is single for like long periods of time, for example, because it's like that initial, I don't know how you would say it, like that initial spark kind of never really gets the chance to happen because maybe you're jumping the gun a little bit. And just like you're like, oh, like I like you, and then you're like jumping in, but then look, we have the 5 of Cups here, so it's like I don't think and look, this isn't even like 3 cups are spilled and 2 are upright. This is like all 5 cups are overturned, and I feel like this leaves you feeling sad, but at the same time it's like feels normal to you because of all the loss you've had. You kind of feel like you're destined to just have to go through things like this like your entire life because you have in the past. It's almost like you think that you have nothing to lose, which gives you sort of like this fearless energy, but at the same time I think it's like a self-sabotaging thing where you are really afraid of losing things and you just don't want to like admit that to yourself, or you just don't see it that way. Like it's coming through in your mind as like a fearless energy, like we only live once, like, you know, like everything I've been through, I might as well go for it. But especially if you're like a feminine energy watching this, you know, a lot of times that can kind of be a turnoff for guys. Like if you're trying to be the initiator, be the aggressor in the connection. But like I was saying, I think you go through periods of time, like long periods of time with this void energy where you're in the void, like you have like nothing, like crickets, like going on in your love life. So when you do meet somebody, like I was saying, you like dive in because you're like, oh, like they're not doing anything about it. Like you only live once. Like I've had enough pain. Like I just want to have something good. You get very excited. And this is like Aries energy, like the Ace of Wands. It's like like cardinal, like fire energy, where it's like you will make the first move, like I was saying. But again, I think this like intimidates. I think I already said that, but like it almost, I would say, scares people off. Like I hate to say that, and I'm so sorry. Like, but conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. I'm not really getting that. I'm not really getting that you abuse people or like even that you say mean words necessarily. I'm getting more that you just feel sad about it and maybe you say mean words to yourself after that. And honestly feel like this is more so about the relationship with yourself. I mean, I think we can come to the conclusion that people either are too scared to even approach you in the first place. You could have like resting bitch face or something, or just a very intimidating presence. Maybe, again, you're very self-protective because of the way of the things that have happened in your past and things like that. I feel like you've really been burned bad. Like, I feel like you've been played out and maybe had some sort of like crazy situations that other people can't even like imagine. Like, you know, like you've really been through a lot. You've lost so much and just been through so much that, I mean, God bless you. Like, I don't know, even maybe you were like abused verbally or physically when you were younger or something like that. And, it's really made you have like, you see how these, on this 5 of Swords here, it's almost like the swords are pointing out, which is making me think of like self-protection, but it's like this little animal here. I don't know what he's supposed to be, maybe a porcupine or something, but with knives instead of quills, but is like frustrated. Like, hey, like, why isn't anyone coming over here? Like, why isn't anyone want to be with me? Like, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, you're not realizing like you're keeping people out in a way that I think is very subconscious. Even with the void, I'm getting like subconscious energy, and I'm getting like you always go back to square one, and you're like, I feel like you come to the conclusion that like it must be you, like there's something wrong with you. Not realizing that there isn't something wrong with you, like who you are inside as a person, but that there might be some issues inside of you, like related to your past or whatever it is, that are kind of keeping people out and are like influencing the way that you're acting in a connection. Especially like I was saying, if you're a feminine energy, like you could be someone that is very like alone, lonely, on your own. I'm getting almost like a hyper independence too, and that can be intimidating as well, because it's almost like you don't need anybody else. So maybe like your potential partners are thinking like, well, what can I even do for this person? Like, what can I bring to the table? They seem like they got it under control here. And it can be almost like, if you're, you know, dating men, like emasculating. Not that you should pretend to be weak or anything like that, but I'm just saying like sometimes like I think men are like that. Like they feel almost like emasculated or less of a man if they see that you kind of like have your shit together, like you have this fearless attitude, like you're very take charge in your masculine energy. It almost like energetically forces them into a more feminine or like passive energy. So I think like maybe like working on feminine energy could be something that is like beneficial for you, like looking into that. But yeah, so how does this play out? It's like I feel like you see something you like, you jump into it and maybe get rejected somehow, and then you're crying over spilled milk over here, feeling sad, and then like you're also thinking like you're frustrated, like why does this always happen? And I feel like this is a cycle that goes on and on and on. So let's look into the Mookaite Jasper to see like what the advice or like what the message is from this card. I'm gonna just read it from the book. Mookaite Jasper, the dream time. Mookaite Jasper balances inner and outer experiences. It encourages versatility and openness to new experiences, helping you to choose the right path. A powerful being, you have roots that go far back into the past. Yeah. What you dreamed, you created. Reap rewards or rectify imbalances. I feel like this is like the rectify imbalances thing. Turn failure into a learning experience and start again. Remember to offer friendship to assist others who tread the same path. Your instinctive wisdom inspires them. This also is talking about check your diet, put your skills to use vigorously. Adventurous times lie ahead. Worry not. You are protected against deceit and enemies. Recognize your strengths. Stay positive and pragmatic. Reject unrealistic ideas. Avoid pride and despair. You have stamina. Wait patiently. If two courses of action are open, go for the straightforward one. A professional challenge, such as a job interview or presentation, is successful. You are what you eat. I don't know. There's a lot about that. Good nutrition with wholesome organic foods sustain your well-being. Okay. So what am I getting from this? I'm getting that. Hi, Leo. I'll put this over here. What am I getting from this? I'm getting that, again, I was talking about how your roots go far back into the past, and maybe like with that whole nutrition thing, I'm thinking like you didn't receive like the sustenance you needed to create like a healthy sense of self. And now maybe your parents or maybe even your past relationships or something, whatever it's talking about in the past, kind of sent you the message that you're not enough the way you are. Like you're not worthy of like receiving love just for being you. Like maybe you had parents that had like I was saying, bullying you, or that were verbally abusive in the way that they were like mean, you know. And I'm seeing this sort of like poetic sensitive soul here, someone deeply feeling like the Five of Cups coming out. Like I feel like you could have struggled with depression a lot of your life, and yeah, the void. I mean, I feel like I'm getting sort of like a depressed energy here. And maybe like you're someone that had your feelings invalidated, or like I was saying, you just didn't get the sustenance you needed to like kind of create like a healthy sense of self or a healthy view of yourself. Like you feel like everything that you need is too much, or that you're just like too much like for people. So it's like almost you don't trust the fact that people will come to you. You feel like you have to make the first move, or somehow like initiate things but I feel like this is stemming from a place of not feeling good enough about yourself. You feel like maybe you have nothing to offer and you're destined to sort of like be alone for the rest of your life or something like that. So I think it's important to take a look at this. And I think it's also important to note you chose the black tourmaline, which is a stone of protection. And again, I'm getting that vibe with this Five of Swords, that you're unknowingly sabotaging yourself, maybe by your actions, the way you're acting in a connection, because you don't trust that you're good enough to attract something to you. You feel like you have to be almost a little pushy and jumping into things without thinking them through. And even the way this bunny is, it's almost like you think that a connection is going to come along and sort of like validate you as a person, if that makes sense. Like, you see people maybe as like a savior or like a pseudo parent, like you're going to get the love that you never got when you were younger, like from this person. Especially like if you notice that you're like, if you're a girl dating men, I'm just going to use this example, but like if you notice that like the guys you tend to be attracted to remind you a lot of like your father, not in a creepy way, but maybe just in a way that's like they share like the same qualities. And again, you're trying to, how would you say that, like put yourself in the same story and have a different ending. So like, again, say you found a partner that reminds you of even like your dad's good qualities, but they weren't there, or like they were like drinking and being abusive sometimes, or they something like, you know, like there was like that dynamic where you weren't feeling loved and getting like what you needed as a child. And then you find a guy, like I was saying, that kind of has like even their good qualities, like a lot of those same qualities, and you're trying to like redo the story now with this person, probably somebody like emotionally unavailable or something like that, and like have the story play out in a different way that gives you what you need so you can finally feel fulfilled. So okay, let's get some advice from you, some tough love advice for you, and see what else. But yeah, I think your partners maybe tend to see you as like a little too aggressive. I think they see you as intimidating in some ways, like as coming on maybe like too strong or something like that. Even dark, like they can maybe think that you're like, oh, like this person has issues or something like that, because maybe the way you act is very like up and down and extreme. Where like 1 minute you're like jumping into it and the next minute you're really mad. Like, if that makes sense, like I'm getting like a lot moody, like emotionally unstable a little bit. Like I feel like that's how maybe people think that you maybe have like depression and like issues like that. I mean, that could be from anything, like just from talking to you, or if they're like on your social media and like the things you post and stuff like that. It could be anything. So yeah, I also feel like men see you as like really beautiful, and like they're like intrigued. I think at first like they're very like initially attracted to you, but it's almost like the way you act turns them off a little bit. And I'm so sorry to say that, because I know that's like hard to hear, but I think like this is something that you can kind of take a look at and fix. And that's why I'm saying it like so bluntly, because I feel like you're kind of like putting the kibosh on their attraction when you like try to like jump in and take the lead. And that's something that you can like fix and not do. Like if that's because it's like you should be like, and I know it's annoying to have to just kind of like wait around for some clueless guy to like get the hint and be like, hey, I like you, ask me out. But again, you know, sometimes rejection is divine protection, and if they're not like coming towards you, like they must not be the right one. And maybe there are some issues here that need to be looked at within yourself, and that's why like maybe spirit is sort of like keeping you like alone, well, until you can kind of figure them out for yourself or something like that. So let's see, what advice do you need specifically right now? Oh. It's not everyone else's fault, it's yours. You are a grown-ass adult. Stop blaming others for your shit. I feel like, again, like you can kind of get into this self-pity mentality. Maybe not all the time, but maybe like, you know, it's understandably disappointing when, okay, now I finally met someone, I've been single for 3 years, like maybe they're the one, and then it just turns out to be a big fat disappointment. And it's like, why does this always happen to me? Like, why can't anyone ever see like the value in me? Like, I don't understand. And, you know, my whole life, everyone has been sort of like treated me this way and blah, 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 blah. And that may be true. And it's not like it's your fault. Like, oh, there is something wrong with you. You deserve this. But it's also like your responsibility to take a look at maybe like if you're allowing this, if you're like enabling this behavior in some way, if you're not holding yourself, like valuing yourself, and like other people are kind of following suit, because that's a meme. Like the way the relationship you have with yourself sets the tone for every other relationship you have. So I would take an honest look at the relationship you do have with yourself. All right. What else? What advice does pile one need? Stop sleeping so damn much. Wake up. You are missing some cool shit. Yeah, you could have a tendency towards depression, laying around, lethargy. Lethargy, is that how you say that word? Being lethargic. But, you know, just kind of like, I mean, I think the advice is to like get up, like get out of the house a little bit, like, and start living a little bit. Okay. Ooh, I just shook the camera, sorry. You are going through some tough shit. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it. Yeah, there's something about being tired and maybe like sleeping a lot or like laying around a lot. And it's like spirit's like, okay, get up, like make that bed, like take a shower, like go in the fresh air, like, I don't know, like handle your shit. Like what is going wrong in your life? Like maybe like that's another thing. Like things are building up in your life because your emotions are so intense and so, and just like weigh you down. I'm getting like a feeling of being weighed down. So it's like you need to find a way to combat that, but it's like you're letting other things slide because of that. Like your emotions are so heavy, it's hard for you to even get out of bed. But meanwhile, like your room is a mess, like your house is a mess, like your bills aren't being paid, you know, things like that. Like, so get up and handle that shit and you'll probably feel a lot better about yourself overall. That's like one step you can start to take, you know. So all right guys, that's what I have for you, pile one. I hope you got something useful out of that reading. I know it was kind of like a tough love kind of a thing here, but you know, knowledge is power, like I always say. So it's better to know how your energy, oh my god, I keep dropping crap, how your energy could be like being perceived by others and spirit and what spirit really wants you to know. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next reading, and I hope you guys have a good day or night wherever you are, and make that bed. Okay. Bye. Hey guys, so if you chose pile 2 and the selenite tower, this is going to be your reading. I'll put him right here. There you go. And let's see what we got for you guys. Pile 2. How do your romantic partners see you? Your potential romantic partners, past situationships, whatever. And we have gypsy. Blame my gypsy soul. Okay. That's who you are in a connection. And then we have destroyer. This is how they see you. Releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for a new life. Intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. And how do they respond to this? We have the hunger card. And then how does this dynamic usually play out? We have the tower. Ooh, talk about destructive over here. We have the hermit. And then we have the magician. Okay. And then for your advice card, we have Charowit, number 50. Sorry, I got like wax on me because I changed the candle in between the last reading. And now I have like wax all over me. All right. If you see it and you're like, well, what is that? That's what it is. Oh, put this back. Okay, let me just fix these cards so they look pretty. Oh, sorry, I just sort of shook the camera. Okay. So, all right, we have like 3 major arcanas here, I'm noticing. So I feel like this is like a major maybe issue. Okay, so let's just start from the beginning. Blame my gypsy soul. Who are you in a relationship? You're someone that doesn't like to be tied down. Gypsies are known for that. Like, I know, like, my family, we move a lot, and I remember my aunt, like, the gypsies are moving again. Like, my mom is like that, my sister, me, like, we all, like, move around. Like, we've lived so many different places. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, that's what I think of when I think of about a gypsy. So, again, I think you're somebody that, like, can't settle down, that, like, doesn't like to be tied down to one specific thing, maybe likes to keep it moving. With the number 3, I'm thinking of, like, 3 of Cups. Like, you like to have fun, you like to, like, go out, maybe you like to drink, you like to, like, party, and that's just the way you are. Like, that's what you would say, like, blame my gypsy soul. Like, that's who I am. Like, take it or leave it. How do your romantic partners see you, or potential, or whatever? We have Destroyer, releasing what is potentially destructive, preparing for new life. And then it also says, I think I already read this, but intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. So definitely, first of all, we have the tower here, a selenite tower, and then the tower here, and then like a volcano. So I think people see you with the fire energy that I'm getting. This is like Mars energy with the tower, like, because Mars rules Scorpio. It's one of the rulers. I think that people see you as very attractive, sexy, like fiery, like if you're a feminine, they see you as like super like hot and almost like don't take any shit, like just like super attractive, like an alpha, like male or female. And if you're a male, like maybe like being like really athletic, just very masculine, but very, very attractive. Like, there's no denying that. But at the same time, I think people also think that you, because it says intoxication with destructive power, they see you as somebody that's like intoxicated maybe with your own power, that you enjoy having like the upper hand in relationships. I mean, who doesn't? But like that you like get off on it in a way that like maybe destroying others' dreams or potential, that maybe feels a little destructive to your romantic partners, because they feel that like you're destroying their dreams, which is like their problem. It's not your problem, I guess. But I'm not really getting like a dishonest energy from this, like that you're like, oh, like I want a romantic relationship just to like get something out of it, and then you like say like leave them. I'm not getting that at all. I'm getting more like you are kind of like upfront about who you are from the beginning, and people maybe project their dreams onto you because they just see, they have little hearts in their eyes when they look at you. Like, you're very attractive. Like, I think you're very, very attractive is what I would say. And how does it affect them? Hunger. Like, they want you, like they long for you. I think you're a heartbreaker. Like, that's what this energy is. You're a heartbreaker. Not necessarily on purpose. Like, you're just like, listen, like, I'm young, I'm hot, I'm this, I'm that. Like, I want to like make the most out of it. And, you know, if people get hurt along the way, like, that's kind of like not my problem. Blame it on my gypsy soul. I'm going to keep it moving. Which is fair, you know, like, that's how you want to be. Like, that's, I mean, who's to say like what's right or wrong? Like, if you just want, you know, like new experiences and to meet new people. I mean, sometimes like, and I feel like you end up dealing with a lot of people that maybe want monogamy and things like that, but that's just not what you want. So it ends up, it's like a mismatch in the first place. Or maybe even people think like, oh, I can do this. I can just have fun or whatever with this person. But it ends up, I think this is how it plays out. I think it ends up with them realizing that you weren't kidding. Like, you know, this wasn't just like, I wasn't playing hard to get. Like, this is just how I am. Like, I don't want, you know, a relationship. So it's interesting because I think it ends up with, I'm seeing this as like just whatever situation like you are in with your romantic partners crumbling, and then one person feeling very depleted, like they are left with nothing, who I think is your romantic partners. And then we have the Magician here, which I think is you when you're good though. Like, you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go on to the next thing. And the Magician can kind of be a selfish energy, and there's nothing wrong with being selfish. I'm not saying it like you're selfish, like, But selfish, what does selfish mean? I should have looked it up in the dictionary. I didn't know like what was going to come out in this reading, but I like to do that sometimes just to get like the actual definition. But it's like, I would think caring about yourself primarily. And I think that's something that a lot of people could benefit from, like almost like being in a more selfish energy, because I feel like I'm getting from this card like that maybe you have a lot of people that try to just really almost like audition for you, like, no, I'm like your perfect partner, like I like with these crumbs here, it's like they give, like I'll climb mountains for you, I'll do anything for you, like I just want to show you that I really care about you. Maybe they see you being this way and almost do a little like is it called armchair psychology, like what is that called, like where like they're like, oh, like they're just scared of love because they've probably been hurt in the past, but I will show them that like I would never do that to them, like I will show them this loyalty, like I will show them like every day like how much I care about them, and then they'll see it and like want to be with me. And you're just like, no, like I don't want to be with anybody, like I just want to do my own thing, I just want to have fun. I mean, I'm sure like if you meet somebody that you actually are in love with, like that would change and like you would want to be with them. I'm not saying like you're destined to be this way forever or anything like that, but in at this current moment, like you're not about that life, like you're more about just kind of satiating maybe like your physical needs with the hunger card, is what that's what I'm thinking of. And I think that that's like a hard reality check for like the people you end up yeah, they fall down to earth, it's like the fall. What's that song, falling from cloud nine, crashing from the high. I think it really is very intoxicating. It didn't say intoxication. I think like it's a very intoxicating experience, like being with you, maybe even just because like you don't want anything, and people tend to want what they can't have, you know, and tend to sort of like cling to something that just presents more of a challenge, you know. And then they have like, is it Wide Awake, that song? Yeah, then it's like they have this harsh reality check where they're wide awake and they're like, oh my god, like what else is in that song? Crashing from the high, I'm wide awake, I don't know. And then it's like, yeah, like I was saying, like then they have this tower moment for themselves almost, and they have to deal with the fallout like of everything that kind of went on. Like they fell from cloud nine, they're falling into the flames, they're feeling the burn here. Then it's like I think they spend a lot of time over analyzing with this Virgo energy, like where did this go wrong, like what could I have done more, like, you know, blah blah blah. But I mean, I think the reality is they just weren't the one for you. And I don't think you ever pretended that they were. So I'm not like saying this in a way like, oh, you should have given them a chance or anything like that. No, like if you feel like they're not the one for you, that's a very valid and fair thing to feel, you know. And it's almost like, I don't think that I'm not getting that you're like, oh, that hunger is your problem now. Like I don't feel like, I'm not getting like a bad vibe from you. I'm getting like a vibe of like, I just want to have fun, this is just how I am. Like I feel like you are very upfront, just the way this says blame my gypsy soul. It's like, I don't feel like you are offering like, are like feeding into the illusion necessarily. Maybe like you're just being nice and people interpret that as like, oh, see, like they're nice to me, they have feelings for me. But I think you are just a nice person, but you're also like a free bird over here and you just want to be free. And again, I think like sometimes you could even be like a little full of yourself, if I'm being honest, like you're the shit, like this is looking like a peacock to me, which is like, you know, peacocks are proud and a little arrogant and almost like I was saying, like a little bit, you are like maybe like intoxicated with your own looks or something like that, which, okay, it's good to be confident, you know, but like confidence is here. And then there's like low kind of confidence, like having like low, how would you say that? I feel like that's like actually a word that I can't think of. I guess like low self-esteem or like being insecure. And then, you know, on the other side of that, there's like being arrogant. And I feel like if anything, you're on this side where you're like very confident in yourself and how you look. I'm sure based on other people's like responses to you, that has like contributed to it. But you know, it's good to kind of have that balance and be here, like in the middle, you know what I mean, like instead of here or here, like trying to like regulate and balance your confidence, because I feel like you almost feel you are intoxicated with the power that you have over people to some degree. With the magician, like he has the magic wand and it's like, yeah, like On to the neck, whose heart am I going to break next? No, I'm just kidding. I don't think that you feel that way at all. But I think it's like, woo, like, what's next? And it's like someone is like left here feeling very depleted and anxious and maybe even used, even though, like I was saying, I don't think that you mince words with people. So again, I think it's their own expectations that they're projecting onto you. I think I already said that leaves them feeling very hungry and wanting something more. But I don't know, like, I mean, I guess it's good to just know that other people like have this very strong emotional reaction to you. That way, I mean, maybe you can just, I don't know, tweak things a little bit and maybe be even more clear. And if you're just like naturally a sweet, considerate person, maybe like tamp that down a little bit just so because sometimes people do misinterpret things like that. Like, oh, like, if they didn't care about me, they wouldn't have done this for me. But maybe you just are a caring person that likes to have fun. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's important to understand how other people are like interpreting. How do you say that word? Interpreting that energy. So let's look at number 50, Charoite. Charoite? I don't know. Wound healing. Interesting. So this is advice for you. So take this however it resonates. Charoite provides deep physical and emotional healing, transmuting negative energy. It converts disease to wellness, like dis-ease, like uneasiness, I guess, to wellness. With its assistance, you recognize that your greatest trauma is also your most profound gift. Accept it with grace. Charoite re-energizes, heals, and integrates dualities, healing past life dis-ease carried into the present life. Deep fears and schisms pervade your being. You may not feel that you belong on Earth. Alienation and insecurity lie beneath a deceptively calm surface. You are subtly driven by other people's thoughts and programs rather than your own. Your autonomic, okay, I think I'm saying that wrong, nervous system may be malfunctioning, so it needs recalibrating. Time to take control. You are undergoing a vibrational change, creating links to higher realities. Visions of past lives suggest ways to redress karma personally and collectively. In accepting the present moment as perfect, you create the space to heal. And then, okay, so I feel like what this is saying is maybe these armchair psychologist exes of yours could have been maybe like onto something, like maybe like that's what this is saying, where like you went through like something traumatic in the past that really like upset you, kind of like what the people that you end up kind of hanging out with now like go through, like that cycle. And it's like I feel like that could have like happened to you, and now it's like you like say that was somebody that did that to you, that kind of like had the upper hand on you. Now you make sure to be in that energy at the same time, just so that way that doesn't happen to you again, and you're not in this like energy where you're like left with nothing and the person is just woo like on their way. So I mean, that's just something to think about. I kind of was getting that vibe when I just read that card, that this could be stemming from some wound or something like that. So I guess just take a look at it if that's resonating with you, or if like what I just said is true and you're like, oh, that did actually happen to me. But if it didn't and you're like, no, I just like to have fun, then disregard, I guess. Or even like stuff in childhood where maybe you kind of always got what you wanted or things like that, and it just made you kind of feel a little bit entitled to just do whatever you want. I mean, there could be any number of things. So let's get the advice for you guys right now. What advice do we have for pile 2? You think someone is lying. They are. Ooh. Oh my God, like that card to me is like so powerful, because I remember one time like you can like fast forward if you want to hear this, but like when I was dating this guy, and then like I found out he was like cheating on me, like he was like talking to this girl, like I caught him. Anyway, let's not get into it, but he tried to give me all these excuses or whatever. I remember I watched a reading and that card came out, and I was like because like he was trying to like deny it, and I was like, I just can't believe what he's saying. And so if that's something going on, I don't know, believe that. But ooh, okay. What the hell are you waiting for? Get that shit done. If you're waiting for a sign, well, here it fucking is. And you are going through some tough shit. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it. So I'm feeling like there is like a need to sort of like take some responsibility in your life or something. Maybe addressing a situation where someone is like lying to you, or maybe if someone in the past like lied to you and you had this sort of betrayal like I was just talking about, where you were like cheated on or something like that. It's time to like address it and like just like let it go for once. And you know, maybe that would change the way that you would kind of like be in relationships, or your approach to relationships, because it just seems like I was saying, there's a lot of like thriving on power and destruction, and it's leaving a lot of people like a little trail of heartbreak in your wake there. So maybe just take a look at that and see if, you know, that's something you want to like address or not. But that would be my advice. That's the message I feel is coming through from spirit for you guys right now. So take it or leave it. And yeah, I think that is it. We are going to move on to pile 3. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, please, you know, comment, like, or subscribe to my channel. Excuse me. And thank you to everybody that already has recently. I really like love it and appreciate it so much. And I will catch you guys in the next reading. Okay, bye. Hey lovies, so if you guys chose pile 3 and the honey calcite, this is going to be a reading to see how your romantic partners see you. Potential, past, current, situationship people, whoever. All right, so let's see what we got here. We have when darkness surrounds you, be the light. Number 17, you are the light. We have the shapeshifter. Ooh. I'll read that when we are like looking into it later. The unexpected blue moon. Okay, and then how does this play out in your relationships? We have the Ace of Swords. We have the Four of Swords. And we have the Chariot. And then your advice crystal card that we got is number 10. Ooh, blue lace agate. All right. So, okay. Sometimes I feel energy like coming through as a song. And that is the case here. And what is the song? It is Blank Space by Taylor Swift. Also the character of like Amy Elliott Dunn from Gone Girl. Not like the whole thing, but I'm getting something from that I'll talk about in a second. So, all right, blank space. Like, I feel like, okay, we have you are the light. When darkness surrounds you, be the light. Shapeshifter, the unexpected. I feel like you are somebody that uses like a mental approach with your relationship. So say you meet somebody, you like them. From that song Blank Space, it's like, what's that part where she's like, how does it go? When she's like, figure out what you want, be that girl for a month. Wait, the worst is yet to come, the unexpected. But yeah, so it's like, I feel like you're able to, well, let's see what this says. Skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, ability to see the potential in everything, and projecting any image that serves your personal agenda in the moment. Like, I'm not necessarily getting that this is like a dark energy. Like, this isn't the Seven of Swords, it's the Ace of Swords. I think that you are naturally very intuitive, or at least you have good instincts, or you're good at reading people, whatever it is. Skill at navigating through different levels of consciousness, like ability to see the potential in everything. You're able to like assess a situation and sort of like see what the situation is calling for from you, and sort of like you're very malleable to other people's energy. And again, this could be because you're like a very like empathic, even though this is coming through more in a mental energy. We do have the Chariot here, which is Cancer energy. So you could be a very nurturing, sweet person. I feel like you try to be the light for other people. Like, this is coming from a good place. I'm not getting necessarily a deceptive energy, but I am getting like a false energy. I'm getting an energy of entering into a relationship, and again, sort of like molding yourself to what you think that person wants. And like I was saying about Gone Girl, and Amy Elliott Dunn, I mean, she was, I think, a sociopath, so I'm not saying that about you at all. And that was a deceptive energy, but how she was saying, like, all guys want the cool girl. Like they want the girl that is like down for anything, that is like super cool, blah, 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 blah. That I forget what she like says, that loves to eat burgers and hot dogs but remains a size 2, like even like sexual stuff will like sort of like do whatever you want sexually, like, you know, and just be like, yeah, I love it, like blah blah blah. Like she gets a little graphic in the book. I'm not going to go into that, this isn't an 18+ reading, but like what else? And then but she also talks about, and okay, like let's get into this. So then I think what happens is I think you enter into a relationship, you sort of, even if it's just emotionally, like you don't change like the things you like to do or who you are, like you let things slide, like you sort of like compromise yourself, and try to turn, even if it's like not a good situation where you're unhappy, you try to turn it into something positive. And you're keeping, with this bird cage here, you're keeping yourself caged into sort of like an agreement that you've like unknowingly made where oh, I'm not gonna like complain about stuff because I'm cool, like I'm mad chill. Like I feel like you would, like, you try to come off that way, like very chill, and I feel like if you were getting maybe treated in the right way, like you would continue to be, but it's almost like you make it too easy for people in a way because there aren't any consequences for their actions. Like instead of like speaking on how you feel, I feel like you'll just sort of like, at first, because look, we're gonna get into what happens next, but like at first you'll sort of again shapeshift into like a more pleasant, oh, it's okay, like I understand, like a more pleasant, understanding energy, in the name of your connection. And then it's like, again, in that song Blank Space, where it's like, figure out what you, I don't think I'm singing that right, but be that girl for a month, wait, the worst is yet to come. And then it's like screaming, crying, perfect storms. I can make all the tables turn, rose garden filled with thorns, keep you second guessing, like, oh my God, who is she? I get drunk on jealousy, like you'll come back each time you leave, because I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream. But again, I think you project this image of like, oh, like I'm so sweet, and like you are so sweet. I'm not saying that you're not, but like I think you like try to maintain that purity of heart and that sweetness like in your connection, but I think people take advantage of it, and then it's like all of a sudden they're like, whoa, like who are you? Like you, like again, all of a sudden maybe get really super jealous and super possessive, and things that they have learned through their like, you know, experiences with you thus far into the relationship think is okay with you, because like maybe you didn't say anything, but I think it just like builds and builds and builds, and then you like explode out because you have a tough time like expressing how you feel from the beginning, because you don't want to come off a certain way, like you're very like, and that's what I see happening here, like the Ace of Swords and like those glasses, it's like you're very able to like suss out like what your person needs you to be. And then Four of Swords is kind of like a sense of peace where like the clouds are overhead, but the eyes are close to it. We're just like, no, like I'm happy, everything is good, I'm balanced, I'm keeping the balance in this relationship. But it's like you're doing all the work, because I'm seeing this as like two swords. You're like holding both of them, like you're keeping things in a peaceful energy, like maybe at the expense of your emotions here. But then we get to the Chariot here, so where either you're just feeling bad inside, or like again you start fighting with your person and you're not seeing eye to eye, like you're not connecting, like you're not receiving like what you need from the connection, because you've kind of haven't really made it known what you need. You've kind of been taking care of the other person a little bit too much, and then all of a sudden things change, and I think they get a little messy here. Like I think that you projecting any image that serves your personal agenda, that sounds like, I feel like you try to see the good in everybody. When darkness surrounds you, be the light. Ability to see the potential in everything. I think like, again, like you try to put lipstick on a pig and make it like something that is worthy of you. And not even worthy of you, like if you're dating down, like that could be a thing where you date down to people that don't deserve like all the beautiful, wonderful things that you have to offer. I can see that you're very smart. I can see that you're very sweet. I see that you're a very nurturing person. I see that from I'm a nightmare dressed like a daydream. I think that you're very pleasing to the eye. With this pink, you could be a very like feminine, if you're a woman, feminine woman, or if you're a guy, like you could just be like sort of like a more, you know, nurturing kind of a guy, like a nice guy, like nice guys finish last kind of a thing. where you sort of like let people like walk all over you until like you kind of reach your breaking point, and then you're just like, and then I don't even think that it's like that the relationship breaks up. I think it's more so that there end up being these like power struggles where this person kind of like was able to kind of be free and do whatever they want, and like now all of a sudden like you have a problem with it, and they're like, whoa, like what's going on here? What was I just reading? It was something on BuzzFeed. It was like about this guy and this girl, and he had the girl like move in. She was like in grad school. She was gonna get her own apartment or something. He was like, why don't you just move in with me? Like, I make all this money and I can pay our rent until like, you know, you graduate and whatever. And then like out of nowhere, like she was living there, like he started demanding that she pay half the rent, which was like $2,500 or $2,000 or something. I think it was $2,500. And she's like, I'm in an unpaid internship and in school full time. Like, I told you I don't have money like that. So she ended up moving out. I don't know, like something like that, where it's like out of nowhere, like the expectations changed because like you were maybe going along with something for a while, but you had this resentment building up, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, and then the person's like, what are you talking, where is this coming from? Like out of nowhere, it's like, I think you like turn the tables, like that song was talking about. And I think another thing that happens, again, I'm getting this from Gone Girl, is when she talks about Amy when she started kind of letting like they got married, like she got married to this guy she was pretending to be the cool girl with, and like little by little like her real personality started coming out, and then she found that her husband Nick didn't really like that person, and she's like, I've done a lot of thinking, and that's when I started to hate him. Like blah blah blah. Like imagine showing yourself finally to your spouse and they don't like who you are. Like I think you end up feeling like that, like, but this is the real me, like why don't you like it, like da 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 da. But it's like, I think the way that you're going about it is sort of um I mean, I can understand how like people could be like, whoa, like I thought you were this person, and now all of a sudden like where's this other side of you? It could be very jarring, a very jarring experience. And I think that you need to maybe work on being more authentic with your communication and your expectations from the get-go. That way this kind of doesn't end up happening. Leo, can you stop crawling all over me? All right, come sit here and sit down. I love you. This is the most needy dog ever. Oh, no, wait. So let's look into your blue lace agate. I love you. Okay, come here. And see what advice Spirit has for you right now. It says self-expression. Yes. Oh, my God. Blue lace agate connects spirit with intellect, highlighting integrity. It enhances the ability to communicate effectively what is in your mind and heart. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, my God. Attune to your inner being to express the fullness of who you are. Be confident when speaking in public as you have much to share. You may have been silenced in the past. Repressing thoughts and feelings causes throat problems, so speak your mind gently, honestly, and clearly. You have the gift of serenity. Use it wisely. Speak your heartfelt truth with integrity and confidence. Do not fear being judged. Expect news shortly and keep lines of communication open. Events unfold slowly. Return to basics and start again if necessary. Focus your mind and open your intuition. Your life will be long and happy. Accept your sensitive side. Hey, hey, hey! Sorry, that was my dog. Expressing yourself fully releases neck and shoulder tension, thyroid deficiencies, and throat or lymphatic infections. So that's weird. So this says third eye, heart, and crown. Maybe like you could have like, I guess, throat, ear, nose, and throat. That's what I'm thinking of with that, like throat. They're all connected. So maybe if you have some sort of like, but yeah, soul path, expressing yourself fully. Like that is what's going to help you kind of get out of this cycle and like get more like emotional satisfaction from your relationships. Accept your sensitive side. I feel like you try to almost be like very logical and like, I'm cool and I don't have emotions, or like, you know, kind of tamp those emotions down and seem, I hate to say cool, but like just to seem chill, like, you know. And that, but those emotions end up bubbling up and kind of coming out anyway later in a more drastic way. So I think it's better to just accept, like, you know, like it's not like one or the other. Like you can be chill and be emotional. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can communicate your needs and not be needy. Like it doesn't have to be mutually exclusive. These different things, I feel like you see them all as separate. You compartmentalize like different traits and think like if you're one, you can't be the other, but that's just like the complete picture of you, the darkness and the light, like, you know. And that's what the Chariot is kind of about too. So learn to kind of blend these things together and like accept yourself as a whole. And I feel like other people will do the same and be more, you know, authentic with your communication with the Ace of Swords. And, you know, if people don't like it, let them go and find someone that actually is more compatible with the real you and not like this sort of cool version of you, because I'm sure you're cool just the way you are. Okay, so let's see. What advice do you guys need right now? What advice does pile 3 need right now? Oh, get the fuck out of your head. Get in your heart. It misses you. Yes, like get more in touch with your emotions from the get-go. There's nothing wrong with having feelings and having emotions. The problem comes when we're like stuffing them down and then they like explode out. You know, I feel like that's something that could be like almost like across the board for you. Maybe like you take on too much at work and then, you know, you feel resentment and then you just lash out at your coworkers or your bosses and your family and your, you know, everyday life with your friends. You kind of get taken advantage of. So this is, I'm sure, something that you've seen like across the board. Like a, what's the word? A people pleaser. You could be like a people pleaser. Love. Get some, give some. It will cheer your ass up. Okay. And, oh, you are going through some tough shit. Okay, this was in every single pile. Everyone has their turn. Welcome to yours. Gather your tired ass up and handle it. So it is eclipse season. So there could be a lot of like moments of reckoning and these emotionally taxing situations going on that are giving you the opportunity to like shine some light on these things that are going on. So I feel like the fact that in all 3 piles we had you're going through some tough shit, get your tired ass up and handle it. Like you could be just like exhausted, mentally drained, things like that. Everybody who watches reading, and this is a good time for you to sort of like pull back, take some time for yourself. We had the 4 of Swords, we had the Hermit in one of the piles, like, and just really do a little self-reflection and assessment of like where you're at, what things have gone down recently and where you want to go and how you want to like, you know, what energy you want to be in moving forward. So all right, guys, I think we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching this reading. If you liked it, please like, comment, or subscribe to my channel. And thank you to everybody who already has. It like really makes me so happy and excited. And any feedback that I get, just really, even bad feedback, like, I mean, I don't know, like whatever, I'll take it all. It's part of like the whole package here. So like, give me whatever feedback you want to give me. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching. I really appreciate you. And I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, okay? Catch you in the next reading. Bye.